It's a sad situation. Shannon Sharpe, somebody I worked with a couple of days a week. Shannon Sharpe is somebody that I brought to be clear, even though this podcast, this YouTube show is owned and operated by me solely, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be dismissive of ESPN, who employs me in my daytime job for day. So I sit here before you today letting you know that they are aware that this is a subject that I was going to broach, because I owe them that courtesy. I am the executive producer of First Take on ESPN. I recruited you. I went and got him and brought him to ESPN. I'm not the boss. Those are other folks. There are layers to this. Layers. Even I am not on. I can tell you, I also spoke. Co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro, who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously. And we are looking into this very, very closely. In my perfect world, he moves on. And somehow, some way, we find this all to be false. But it doesn't seem like that's the way things are about to go down, considering who Mr. Busby is and how emphatic his claim is proclaiming she is right. She's telling the truth. I have no idea what direction ESPN will go in when it comes to this matter. All I do know is it won't be me making the decision. In the end, all of us have no matter how married we try to be, we own our own business and we're our sole proprietors, like I am on this platform and stuff like that. There are advertisers, there are sponsors, there are people we do business with, there are partners, and there are bosses. That's the situation, unfortunately, with Shannon Sharpe.
Football Hall of Famer and broadcaster Shannon Sharpe says he's stepping aside from his job at ESPN in light of new allegations. On Sunday, a woman filed a $50 million civil lawsuit in the state of Nevada.
Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
You sharing text messages, that's just sharing too much. We didn't want to hear about nobody getting hogtied in your bedroom and your salad getting tossed while you wearing a collar. It's too much.
Big net deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
Stephen A. Smith is trending right now, and it's all because of Shannon Sharpe's abrupt departure from ESPN. But this isn't just a break. Insiders are saying Shannon's likely done for good. According to several reports, at least 3 more women have come forward with allegations against him. And what started as a scandal has now become a full-blown crisis. And surprisingly, the public isn't rallying behind Shannon. A lot of fans are saying this is karma finally catching up with him. And honestly, it's hard to argue with that based on what's come out so far. If you haven't been following the drama, here's the quick rundown. Shannon got involved with an OnlyFans model who's several decades younger, young enough to be his granddaughter. What began as a flashy sugar daddy situation has unraveled into a scandal full of receipts, leaked messages, voice recordings, and disturbing claims. There are accusations of him using offensive language and participating in inappropriate role play. The internet blew up when those receipts surfaced, and Shannon's image took a massive hit. And just when people thought it couldn't get worse, it came out that Shannon allegedly offered the woman millions in hush money to keep everything quiet before it went public. which only raised more suspicion. Rather than generating sympathy, Shannon has become the butt of online jokes. Critics are dragging him for being nearly 60 and still making reckless decisions that he should have outgrown decades ago. Even celebs like Cat Williams and Monique apparently tried to warn him about messing with young women who might have hidden agendas. But he didn't listen, and now he's not just facing public embarrassment. He's losing endorsement deals, his broadcasting platform, and possibly his future in media. As all of this plays out, Stephen A. Smith hasn't stayed silent. He's commented on the situation more than once. And while he claimed to feel bad for Shannon, there was a definite undertone of judgment. He stressed that men in high-profile positions have to be careful with their choices, especially when they're tied to companies with family-friendly brands. And once ESPN, which is mostly owned by Disney, saw where things were headed, they started distancing themselves fast. Let's be real. Disney doesn't play around when it comes to their public image. They prioritize clean branding, safe content, and family values. So once the details of Shannon's situation started going viral, with screenshots and audio clips floating around, it was clear ESPN wasn't going to stick around and take the hit. Sure, they've dealt with controversial talent before, but this situation was different. The mix of sexual misconduct claims, disturbing texts, and a very public lawsuit made it impossible for them to ignore. Shannon tried to control the narrative. On April 24th, he posted a statement claiming he was stepping back from ESPN for a while and would return in time for the NFL season. But according to sources inside ESPN, that's just the cover story. In reality, executives reportedly gave him a quiet exit and let him make it look voluntary. But behind the scenes, they're cutting ties and moving on. Some insiders are even saying he's already blacklisted and that his days at the network are over. Stephen A. Smith didn't mince words when he spoke about the fallout. He made it clear that companies like Disney don't keep people around if they become a liability. Once you're seen as a risk to the brand, it's game over. He also pointed out that Shannon trying to share private messages publicly may have hurt him more than helped, because instead of painting himself as the victim, it gave the public even more ammunition. At this point, Shannon's public support is evaporating. He's losing deals left and right. And with more accusations piling on, it's starting to look less like a bad moment and more like a career-ending spiral. Stephen A. tried to play neutral at first, but everyone could tell he was calling Shannon out for making immature decisions and acting like he was untouchable. In the end, Shannon has nobody to blame but himself for losing it all over a relationship with someone young enough to be his grandchild. Stephen later said his comments weren't directed at anyone in particular, but fans weren't buying it. It was obvious he was talking about Shannon, and most people agree that Shannon brought this on himself. He constantly preached accountability and wisdom, but clearly didn't apply it in his own life. The warnings weren't new either. People are now looking back at Cat Williams' appearance on Shannon's podcast, where he straight up told Shannon that dealing with young women, especially white women, could be dangerous. And based on the lawsuit timeline, Shannon was already involved with the woman in question when that episode aired. Not long after, Monique was also on Shannon's show and gave similar advice, telling him to stop chasing these huge age gap relationships and to get serious about building something with someone closer to his age. But he ignored that too. And now what's eerie is that an old clip resurfaced where Shannon joked that he'd go to hell for $50 million. And that's exactly what his accuser is now suing him for. But it's not just the age gap that has people disturbed. Legal documents in Shannon's own texts suggest there was race-based roleplay involved, something many find highly inappropriate. The woman, reportedly a former sex worker, may have gone along with it for the money, but insiders say Shannon was the one pushing for it. What really raised eyebrows is that one of the messages mentioned Shannon paying $25,000 per visit. On top of that, Shannon only released her explicit texts, conveniently leaving out anything he said. That's why fans believe he was the one driving the more disturbing parts of their relationship. Whether the relationship was consensual from beginning to end is now a legal question. But even if it was, it doesn't look good. A leaked voice recording has Shannon making aggressive threats, and while some argue it sounds like roleplay, others think it crosses a line. And even if it was a setup, Shannon's willingness to go along with it has people questioning his judgment. The fact that a nearly 60-year-old media figure got caught in such a messy situation with a 19-year-old has shocked a lot of people. Some say it's a mix of entitlement and poor judgment, thinking fame and money could protect him from fallout. Clearly they didn't. And Shannon trying to pull the "I'm a successful black man being targeted" card didn't land either. He compared himself to Jay-Z and accused the lawyer Tony Busby of going after wealthy black men. But that argument fell flat once people found out about the alleged racial role play. Critics are asking how Shannon can claim racial bias when he's engaging in degrading scenarios that play right into racial stereotypes. He also warned that private footage might surface that could reinforce dangerous narratives about black men. But at this point, fans are saying the damage is already done, and Shannon's the one who put most of it out there himself by releasing texts. This entire scandal has completely taken over Shannon's image. His efforts to control the story aren't working, and the internet has turned on him. Between memes, jokes, and heated commentary, there's not much sympathy left. The power imbalance, the racial undertones, and the overall lack of awareness have made this a PR nightmare. Now it's your turn. What do you think about all of this? Is Shannon Sharpe being unfairly targeted, or did he set himself up for this downfall? And how do you feel about ESPN and Disney cutting ties? Let us know in the comments, and don't miss our next video for even more updates.